this is representing how we see the sun shining across the ocean. We have a light bulb up on the ceiling, and this is a sketch pad here, and this is the ocean. We could even pretend that this is the sand, which is also wet, and it comes right up. This shine that comes up from the sun comes right across the sea in a straight line like this that we can see there, and then even on to wet sand right up to the viewer's feet. That is because water always finds its own level, and the sun is able to shine in a straight line all the way up to the feet. On a curved surface, what would happen is that this, if we just bend this thing now, you'll see, hopefully, that that line is only appearing on the horizon now. It's only and as we lessen the curve gets longer and longer, and then it's completely flat. It's like what we see in the real world, this line coming straight up to the viewer. Now on this ball, the sun is just behind the horizon. There's the light bulb, and no matter how you position this camera, which represents the viewer, you cannot get that straight line coming towards the viewer. All you can get is that this glare. This is just a glare from the light bulb. So we go closer, or up or down. So there, the sun has just risen above the horizon, and what we see is nothing. We don't get that coming, that straight line path. What we get is a semicircular shape with a hot spot in the middle and a semicircular shape. And no matter how close we get, you just can't get that straight line coming towards the camera. If you get right up, it just keeps moving away from you. And it's a very wide shape. It's not a narrow shape. And no matter where we put it, let's put it as low as we can to the horizon, even when it's behind the horizon. You can't get that shape, that white path to come at all, just that semicircular shape. So that means that the Earth is not a globe, the water is not curving around a globe. Water always finds its own level, and so these flat Earth proofs are very simple sometimes, and globe believers just cannot defeat even these simplest of proofs.
Okay, so we can increase the intensity of that. We know that this is not the, we do not see round reflections on the water. I think that's pretty much what we can show is that we don't get round reflections on the water. And that's a huge thing. And what we do see is we see this almost parallel. So that's really what we see. And even as we move it further out, we're moving this light further away, hugely further away. We have to increase the brightness to show the same illumination. So guys, I believe this is one of the proofs of flat Earth, showing that reflections of the water, it's as if the water is on a plane. We can go ahead and watch this again. question, does that look like the sun's reflection? Or is it this round one here? To me, it seems like it's this. Just my opinion. Yeah, I'm raising the intensity quite a lot. But we push this little ball of light back so much. There. Is this something that we see? Or do we see this is the shape of the reflection that you see on Earth. It's not this. No. So guys, thank you, William B. Hope to start you guys on your journey researching flat Earth. Appreciate it.
We're going to discuss these, and what we're going to discuss goes against the grain of what we've been taught, but nevertheless, from your own visual observations, you will see that this is true. So this is William Turner, and we see his understanding of perspective, how he used it in art. We look at the sun, we see the sun and the reflection of the sun in the water. Look at the boats, the reflection of the boats is always underneath the boat. But also, we see the moon and its reflection in the same water, on the same surface. You see, this is the sun and the moon and the reflection in the same visual frame of reference. Look at the reflections. You see, this tells us William Turner understood the earth to be flat, because this is only possible on a flat plane. So, let's analyze this. You see, from William Turner's perspective, if the sun is 150 million kilometers back and the moon is 400,000 kilometers back, you have two objects. How can two objects at those distances reflect on the surface you are standing on, if that surface is a ball? And yet, like the ship, its reflection is directly below the ship. How can the same apply to the sun and the moon if they are those far distances away from you and William Turner standing on a ball? You see, the reflections are always underneath the object, no matter how high they are from the surface or how far away they are from the surface. This is a simple 3D perspective thing. Reflections and objects on the horizon, no matter how far they are away, always reflect directly what is above it. Say if the earth was a ball, this cannot apply. It doesn't matter what your angle is to that surface. Reflection stays the same. That's because that surface is flat. It has to be. That's how the human eye works. You see, the sunlight reflects in straight lines, and we're going to prove this just now. So what happens is the sunlight reflects into your eye. Right? We know that it, in this process, that the image is upside down, and that your brain flips the image the right way around. And the light is traveling in a straight line. Because if the light was bent, these objects will be in different positions on the horizon and all around you. The light has to travel in a straight line. And if the earth is flat, it all makes sense. This cannot happen on a ball. So as you raise your eye level and you raise your position up and you're looking down now on that same scene, the objects don't change their position remains in the same relative position from your perspective. You see, that was a ball. If the earth was a ball, these things and objects in the distance would continue to change. It would be a total disaster. You wouldn't see things in their right position. Light has to travel in a straight line. So, if the sun is 150 million kilometers away and the moon is at a different angle at 400,000 kilometers, how can William Turner see the reflection of the sun and the moon and the ship all in the same image, and the reflection is underneath the sun and moon, and the reflections are all in perspective. Cannot happen on a ball. This ocean has to be flat for this to happen. Now, if both your light sources are behind the horizon, how can the light from those objects reflect on the earth? On this side, the light cannot bend around the ball. So William Turner, in his own way, he understood the earth was flat, and he showed it in his paintings. Today people will say, well, you're an idiot if you believe the earth is flat. Well, there are many talented, intelligent people who knew and who know today that the earth is flat. We are living in a lie, an illusion.